Hey, hello. It's July, and this is the July video. I decided to do a guitar of the day because I have played so much guitar that I'm suffering a little carpal tunnel. So I thought I'd tell you about this wonderful Limelighters model from Vega. I'll tell you a little bit about it. First thing, I guess, if you'd like to know, maybe, is who the Limelighters are. Limelighters were a folk group that formed in '59 in Los Angeles. Let's see, Alex Hasselev, Louis Gottlieb, and Glenn Yarborough. And Glenn Yarborough was the only name that I was familiar with, and I wasn't really familiar with the Limelighters. But they were a classic sort of folk trio in the mode of the Kingston Trio. They even have a connection to the Kingston Trio. Louis Gottlieb was a musicologist, PhD musicologist, just finished his PhD when the Limelighters were forming, and he was a vocal arranger for the Kingston Trio. And so he formed the act to do demos for the Kingston Trio. And long story short, they took off. They were kind of at the peak. You know, they played, I think, their first gigs in '59, and they were at the peak in their record sales by '61. You know, their mythology on their website is that within 2 shows they were signed by, and they had like 3 record offers. So they were a talented bunch of guys apparently, and anyway, they were successful enough to become the artist. Have an artist model produced by Vega, which would seem to be kind of a big deal, but not really, because Vega really, you know, as far as guitars go, wasn't, you know, by this time considered much of a player, although in the folk era, Vega was experiencing in the banjo side of the house a real boom because Pete Seeger was playing those long neck things, and those were Vegas. So anyway, the truth of the matter is, though, this isn't really a Vega. This is a Harmony H174, and as it said on the thing in there, this was built for Vega to the specifications of the Limelighters. But really, what this is a Harmony H174, which was the top of the line Harmony classical guitar. I think it says it's a classical guitar in that label there somewhere, and it says it's only supposed to be played with nylon strings, and they treated it, you know, very seriously as a serious nylon string guitar for classical guitarists. But really what it was a student guitar, and they made a lot of them, and they made them for various different companies with various different H names, you know. So this is actually, for the one they made here for Vega, is an H178, but I defy you to tell the difference between this and an H174. It is an H174. The only thing that's different is apparently the Limelighters must have shown up at a meeting one time and said, "Hey, instead of doing the 2 rings around the sound hole at the rosette there, why don't you put that checkerboard there?" And I'm sure the Harmony guys said, "Oh yeah, sure, we got the checkerboard thing." I bet they showed up at the meeting and showed them, "Here's what we can do as far as bling." And you got a little bit of a checkerboard down there on the bridge. So just the basic facts of this thing: it's a 2-inch nut, like a classical guitar. It feels like it's a pretty flat fretboard as well, and it's, I think it's 2 1/4 down here as far as the string spacing. So all in all, a pretty even Steven spread on the strings. Plenty of room for doing fingerstyle work. What is the H174's claim to fame? If you've been watching my videos, and I'm sure there's at least 30 or 40 of you who have been doing that, then you saw me play some Willie Nelson on this thing. Oh, I can't do it anymore. You know, the nightlife. And why did I pick Willie Nelson? Why did I say this guitar was appropriate for that? Well, because the guitar that Willie Nelson played at the start of his career was the Baldwin version of this. The Baldwin Piano Company got into guitars there in the late 50s, early 60s. And what they did to innovate, they didn't make the guitar, of course, they had Harmony do that. But what they did was they came up with this really amazing early piezo pickup. And it so often happens in guitars, like the first things out of the box tend to be the things that we all seem to covet and desire. And the Prismatone pickup that electrified a nylon string guitar was really highly prized when that hit town. And what Baldwin did was a sort of a smart thing. They went to Nashville and started giving the damn things away, as far as I can tell from the folklore. And a couple of guys really dug it and started using it. And one was Willie Nelson, but perhaps more famously, a guy who actually dug the guitar for the guitar itself was Jerry Reed. And so Jerry Reed would play all those early fingerstyle recordings are on basically a guitar exactly like this. And I've played it, and it's super chunky, super kind of, Jerry Reed must have some, ginormous hands. He can probably palm a basketball, or could have palmed a basketball. I don't know, but he got around on it, and he really liked it. The myth on him is just he likes cheap guitars, and would play them. And I love that of that story, at least. I don't know how much of it is true, but I have seen in the early videos he's playing something like this. So what do you get when you get one of these things? They're comparatively inexpensive on the vintage market. What you're getting with any Harmony, almost any Harmony acoustic, is you're going to get solid woods. And so if solid woods are your thing, that and you think of that as a thing, these then are kind of a bargain in that regard. And it's nice straight grain spruce on the top, solid, and pretty close grain mahogany, and a little bit of rosewood bling there on the headstock. So all in all, for a knockaround guitar to play by the campfire, I think this turned out really nice. And so as far as like for that Jerry Reed thing, if you're looking to go get some music, because this month I'm just talking about the guitar because I have really messed up my hands, then go back and listen to Love's Radio. It hasn't been getting enough love, okay? And so when I was working that up, I was playing more fingerstyle versions of that. And I'm not going to try that now because that's how I destroyed my hands. But go back and check that out. I do a strummy, thumpy, nice rhythmic version of that. And that song, it's a great song. It's, the lyrics are more for the family, but it's a good song. Go check it out. Give it some love. And then let's see. I played a Steve Goodman song on this for a request from my friend Woody, and you should go check that one out. So anyway, there's 3 songs. If you want to hear what this thing sounds like, go back and listen to those. Now, the audio quality on those is going to be a mixed bag because I was recording straight into the iPhone. But since then, I have picked up this microphone. So as the last bit of the demo here, I'm going to go ahead and just play and try and position myself where they tell me that the right place is, about 12 inches away from the microphone at the 12th fret. So there's an E chord. I'm going to take it up here at the octave in E9. So you hear that the thing's got a nice sound. It's a good finger picking guitar. You can get on it. So all in all, a real workhorse. Nylon string, so it's not too hard on the hands. That's part of the reason I was playing it so much, because I thought I could play a lot and not, goof myself up. But of course I did. Yeah, I think that probably covers everything I wanted to cover on this. I had kind of interest experiencing on buying it. That's kind of a long story. I'll just say that when I got it, took the strings off, the neck came off in my hands, and I had my first experience trying to do a neck reset, and that didn't go quite the way one would hope, because the action turned out, it wasn't low to begin with, and it isn't low afterwards. But that, I think, is a story for another day, because I've already topped 10 minutes, and nobody can stand to watch this for 10 minutes. All right, that's it. The guitar of the day, Limelighters model, Vega model. Great old little folk guitar from 1961. There is actually a Harmony date stamp in there. 1961, real good year. I was born then, so why not have a guitar from that era? All right, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.